Hi, this is Dr. David Pierce, your dental coach, and today I want to talk a little bit more about the concept of common thinking. So, we've talked about what's under your hood, what goes on in this brain thing, and of course you know that your thoughts and idea come from your brain. But I'm going to run an idea by you that perhaps your thoughts will determine everything about who you are and what you will become. That might be a new idea to you, and you may have a hard time believing that's true. But the idea of inspecting your thoughts and how your thoughts determine your life, I'm going to suggest to you, is a critical thing to do. Many centuries BC, there's this amazing guy called Socrates who understood all this, and he was followed by others as well, Plato, Aristotle, and many others, who came upon this idea. So this is not a new idea. And Socrates looked at it and said at the time, there were some very, very powerful political people. And the general thinking was that these people in these powerful positions, individual, need to ask yourself the very deep questions, probe into your own mind so you can determine what the truth is for you. Look for the evidence that supports the answers to your questions. Many times when we follow the common thinking of everybody else, it just plain feels good. It's appealing. It's comforting to follow that. But many times when you find that that common thinking, that the actual factual support for your situation isn't present. It just doesn't apply. And that concept that Socrates came up with of probing your own mind to find the truthful answers to your questions became Socratic questioning. That's what we call it today. So what does that look like in real time, real world? Well, let me give an example of one of my clients. So she had practiced for a few years as an associate dentist, had some experience under her belt, wanted to be a business owner, not an employee, and the immediate path of doing that was to buy a practice. She looked, couldn't find one in her area to buy, and after about 18 months of looking, finally decided, if I'm going to own a dental business, I'm going to have to start from scratch. So there was a lot of common thinking, conventional wisdom about how you do that, which would be you really should go hire a company that specializes in starting up dental practices from scratch. So that was conventional wisdom. That's what she did. She paid $50,000 to a firm, and their plan was we find a site, renovate it, make it so it looks fairly good, but definitely cut costs wherever you possibly can. And I'm all for cost cutting, but that's part of their message. And when it comes to your patients, you're going to accept every insurance possible and consider accepting Medicaid. Use the least expensive materials you can possibly get away with the idea being that if you're in your office and you're doing a crown for $400, that's better than sitting there and twiddling your thumbs. That was their model. She started with that model. And after a very short period of time of practicing that way, and as that whole thing began to unfold, she just got this feeling in her stomach like this just doesn't fit. Like conventional wisdom either is incorrect, maybe, or just is a poor match for her and her goals. So she pivoted. She said, that's not what I'm going to do. If someday I'm going to be a fee-for-service, optimal dental service, high relationship-oriented practice, why would I want to switch to that later on? I want to do that from day one. Good for her. So she pivoted, she changed to fee-for-service, redirected her practice into a high relationship, optimal care type practice. And so listen to the numbers part. Second month in, she's profitable. First month in, she's getting a salary check herself from her company greater than she did as an associate dentist. Success on her terms. Good for her. So what am I saying? Are coaches bad? They don't know what they're talking about? Heavens no. You should surround yourself with coaches, surround yourself with very smart people, surround yourself with people who have already done what you're trying to do. For sure, that's the message. But just understand that just because they did it a certain way doesn't mean it's right for you. You need to think your way through it, ask probing questions, make sure it fits, and maybe readjust. You know, in football, they call it an audible, right? Here's the amazing thing we're going to do. You get to the line of scrimmage and you look around and say, nope, this isn't fit, doesn't feel right, something's wrong. And the smart quarterback makes a new play. You should do the same. For this and more thought-provoking ideas and tools, please check out our website. It's ultimatesuccess.dentist, or you can go to 4m40.com. This is David R. Pierce, DDS, your dental coach, and just trying to help improve the lives of the dental community that I am so proud to serve.